Everyone, we will go with the session in an interactive mode. Please keep your mic muted, but whenever you wish to talk, unmute and speak. It will be very good if you can interact with me throughout the session. First of all, I thank the DAV management and Pun Vidya Mandir management for giving me this wonderful opportunity to interact with the highly energetic and enthusiastic students of Karur. Okay. We all know that cricket is a very popular game in India. Many of you may be cricket fans, and at least some of you will be cricket players. Can any one of you tell me what is meant by slow goers in cricket? What do you mean by slow goers in cricket? Anyone? Unmute and tell me. Slog, S-L-O-G, slow goers in cricket. Okay. So when we say slow overs in cricket, we mean the final overs. If it is a one-day match, the last 10 overs. If it is a 20-20 match, maybe the last 3 overs or 4 overs. We call slow overs. You know, in slow overs, the batsman will not go for any short selection. Each and every ball he will try to hit to the boundary because the team has to score maximum. You know, some great finishers are there in cricket like our Mahendra Singh Dhoni. They score a lot of runs in the slow overs. So dear students, if school life can be considered as a cricket match, you are now in the slow overs. Very few days for your final examination, the board examination. So you cannot leave any ball. I mean, you cannot leave any hour. Here, time is our over, time is our ball. We have to make use of each and every minute in a fruitful manner, so that we can come out of the board examination with the flying colors. It doesn't mean that you should not sleep well or you should not have entertainment. You can. You must sleep well. At least 6 to 8 hours, you have to sleep. Then only your body and mind will be healthy. You can have some kind of entertainment like listening to music, good music. Nothing wrong in it, or you can just go for a walk. But whenever you open the book, that particular time has to be used in a very effective manner, in a very fruitful manner, so that your performance in the board examination will be very good. Do you have any fear about the board exam? Any one of you? Do you have any fear? So when you think about the board exam, do you get any tension or anything like that? If anybody has such exam fear, this is the time to come out of it. First of all, you should understand that board examination is not going to be very tough and all. You have already written a very large number of exams throughout your educational period, right from your LKG till 10th standard. Lot of examinations you have written. Board examination is also going to be one among them. It is not going to be any big task or big challenge or any nightmare or anything like that. In fact, it will be easier than your pre-board examination. But prepare very well. Once we prepare in a systematic manner, exam will become very easy for you. Same like a farmer. If a farmer cultivates in a scientific manner, his output will be huge. So same manner, in a systematic manner, if you prepare, you can have a very good harvest. And as our Prime Minister rightly said, examination will become a festival to celebrate. It is not a nightmare. So first of all, come out of the exam, because fear will play a negative role. If you have exam fear, some of you will get fever, unwanted tension. Even the known answers will not come from your subconscious level to your conscious level. You will not be able to answer. So say goodbye to fear first of all. Try to understand that board examination is going to be an easy one. It is going to be easier than your half yearly or your quarterly or your pre-board examinations. Now, let us come to social science subject. It's an easy subject. Very, very easy subject. Provided you approach it with a positive mindset. First of all, you should have some love towards the subject. Which is your main study material? Anyone of you? You may have plenty of study materials, right? Your teachers might have given you notes, or you might have downloaded some materials. Among these, which is your most important study material? Anyone? To prepare for the board exam, which is your most important study material?
Textbook, sir.
Yes, it's your NCERT textbook. NCERT textbook is your main study material. Now, how to use the NCERT textbook? Take a chapter. Say, for example, you are taking nationalism in India, history chapter. A chapter with a very good mark weightage. More questions will be from nationalism in India, India's freedom struggle. You read a paragraph or you read a page. After reading that paragraph, after reading that page, close your eyes and try to visualize what you read. I hope I hope you know what is visualizing. What do you mean by visualizing? Anyone? I don't get any response from you people. Please come on, tell me. Visualizing is nothing but try to see what you read in your mind. Say, for example, you read about Dandi March, Salt Satyagraha. Close your eyes and try to see Gandhiji walking along with 78 of his followers from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi. And people along the side of the road waiting to listen to Gandhiji. Gandhiji speaks to them about Swaraj. Gandhiji speaks to them about the need for civil disobedience. And people joining with the Gandhiji, and thousands of people are reaching Dandi, and Gandhiji taking sea water and preparing salt and breaking the salt law. Try to see it in your minds. Jallianwala Bagh massacre, when you read, try to visualize. It is rightly said that seeing is believing. And once you believe something, you will never forget it. So try to visualize the textual contents, what you read in the textbook. After visualizing, take a paper and write a summary from your mind, not by reading the book, from your mind. What is there in your mind? Write it down. This summary on the previous day of exam, if you read, you will be able to answer any question which is asked from that particular topic. So try to practice that. Textbook you take, read the first page, try to visualize it, write the summary of it, go to the next page. In that way, you complete a chapter. Before exam, you can go through that summary. So visualization is a very good technique. which you can use in all the 4 branches of social science. In history, geography, economics, political science, in all the 4. Now, another important thing which I want to tell you, particularly to average and little bit below average achievers. Nobody is poor. All of you are capable of scoring century if you play very well in these slow Govers. Remember, even those students who are getting lower marks in the previous examination need not worry. Still you have time. From my experience as a teacher for the last 3 decades, I'm telling you, even those who start preparing today, now, will be able to score 100 or 99 or 98 in the board examination. It is rightly said, today is not late. Tomorrow will be too late. Anyway, so try to read the textbook, try to visualize, and try to write the summary. Another important step which you can take during these slow Govers or last final days is to try to answer as many question papers as possible. Now, question papers are readily available in the internet, or your teachers might have already provided you, supplied you a number of question papers. Take a question paper and create an examination environment at your home. You can even get a signature on the paper from your father or mother. Answer it. Answer it. Fix 2.5 hours and try to answer it. Of course, Cbse gives 3 hours time, but we should try to complete in 2.5 hours so that the remaining half an hour, we can just check whether our answers are right or wrong. So as many question papers as possible you write. The advantage is you will be learning the concepts when you are evaluating your own paper. You yourself can evaluate. Take the textbook, take the notebook, whatever it may be, classwork book. With the help of that, evaluate by yourself. And while you are evaluating, you find out what mistake you have committed. You can correct those mistakes. So you will be learning. Another thing, that fear factor will go away. Fear is caused by strangeness. When something is new to us, we will be having fear. But when we write a number of examinations, exam will become a celebration for us. And that fear factor will go away. So try to answer maximum number of question papers. Evaluate by yourself. If any doubt arises in any answer, please immediately contact your teacher. Your teachers are always willing to help you. Teachers always love the students who ask doubts. As a teacher, I can tell, we all love the students who come out with the doubts, because that shows their eagerness to learn. And such students, teachers always appreciate and love. So get your doubts clarified from your teachers. Now, for low achievers or average achievers, you can pay a little more concentration on economics and political science. Why do I say so? Because economics and political science, the content is very less. Limited content. And moreover, mostly direct questions are asked. But equal mark weightage. All the 4 branches of social science have equal weightage. 20, 20, 20, 20. So more concentration can be given to economics and political science by the low achievers. Of course, I'm not telling to ignore history or geography. They have to be studied. We need to get sent them. But little more attention if you pay in political science and economics, you can score more marks because the content is very, very less if you compare with the history or geography. And mostly the questions are direct questions. Now, newspapers and all you might have read already. Cbse will be asking more competency-based questions in the coming examination. They say that at least 40 to 50% 40 to 50% of the questions or mark weightage will be given to competency-based questions. Can anyone tell me what is this competency-based question? Any one of you? See, this is one of the most discussed term in examination circle, CBSE examination circle nowadays. Competency-based questions. What do you mean by competency-based questions? Anybody? 40% of the mark weightage will be given for competency-based question. Try to understand. So what do you mean by competency-based questions? Anybody? Questions that test your ability to use knowledge in real life situations. Questions that test your skill to use knowledge in real life situations. We call by the name competency-based questions. I'll tell you one real life example to make it very clear. You all might have heard about 2004 tsunami that hit several coastal areas in Asian countries. You all might have heard about that.
Yes,
have you?
sir.
Yeah. Can you tell me what caused the tsunami? What resulted in tsunami? Why did tsunami occur? Tsunami was caused by a high-intensity earthquake that occurred in the seabed near to Indonesia. So near to Indonesia, under the seabed, a high-intensity earthquake occurred that triggered the tsunami waves. See, one incident occurred during this tsunami time in one of the beaches in an island in Indonesia. More than 100 tourists were there. They were enjoying their vacation. British tourists, English tourists, they were enjoying their vacation in an island, in the beach in Indonesia. Among them was a 14-year-old girl, maybe of your age. Her name is Tilly Smith, a British girl. So she heard the news that a high-intensity earthquake occurred in the seabed somewhere near to the Indonesian islands. So when she came to know about this, she immediately recollected her geography lesson. Her geography was a 9th standard girl. Her geography teacher taught her that a high-intensity earthquake in the seabed will trigger tsunami waves. So she immediately applied her knowledge in that situation. And she informed her father and mother, her parents. See, a high-intensity earthquake occurred in the seabed. Sea waves will be soon attacking our beach also. So let us move away from the beach. The parents informed the other tourists also. All of them immediately moved away from the beach. Within an hour, the entire beach was destroyed by the tsunami waves. So that girl's competency helped in saving the lives of more than 100 people. This is what we call competency-based learning. Ability to apply knowledge in real life situation. What is needed for answering competency-based questions? What qualities are needed for you to answer competency-based questions? Anybody? First thing, you need knowledge. For that, you have to be thorough in the content. You have to be thorough in the textbook content. That knowledge is needed. But more importantly, you need to have the skill, the ability, the skill to use that knowledge in real life situations. How to develop that skill? Can skill be developed by reading books? Anyone? Can you develop skill by reading books? See, cycling, swimming, these are all skills. Can you learn cycling by reading a book on cycling? Or can you learn swimming by reading a book titled How to Swim? No. You have to practice your skill. So that is why I told you maximum number of question papers have to be answered. Maximum number of question papers have to be answered so that you get the skill to apply knowledge in real life situation. Otherwise, knowledge is of no use. See, our younger days, we have learned the a plus b the whole square is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square, or theta. All those things we have learned, but we never used them in our life. Because we never learned how to use all these things in real life situations. So CBSE is now changing. CBSE wants the students to acquire the knowledge acquire the ability to use knowledge in actual situations, real life situations. So competency-based questions will be there. 40% of the marks are for competency-based questions. Some of such questions we will discuss today. Another important thing, there can be some questions which are not directly asked. It is a tougher question, a difficult question. How to answer such questions? First thing, read the question many times. When you read it many times, that strangeness will go. The question will become familiar to you. You will be able to identify some concept in the question. Write about that concept. Your answer will be correct. As a person who attended several evaluation camps, I have attended several board evaluation camps. I can tell you that for such tougher questions, CBSE doesn't expect any concrete answer. CBSE wants to know whether you are aware of that concept. Say, for example, a question is very tough. You are not able to understand. Read it 2 or 3 times. You will be able to identify whether it is history question or geography question or economics or political science. Suppose you identified it as a history question. Next, what you can do is identify from which chapter, from which area. Whatever you know about that particular concept, that particular area, write it down. Your answer will be correct. Never leave out such questions. We are not supposed to leave out any question in the board examination. That is the golden rule to get good marks in board examination. Every question has to be attempted. The choice question you can leave out. Otherwise, every question, we have only internal choice. So every question has to be answered. Don't leave out any question at all. Even if you do not know the exact answer, don't worry. Whatever you know about that concept, whatever you know about that incident, write it down. Your answer will be correct. Now, another important thing, presentation of the answer is very, very important. In CBSE board examination, mostly point-wise answering is appreciated. Of course, for some questions, you will have to describe. For example, if they ask you to describe Jallianwala Bagh massacre, you can describe it, nothing wrong. But wherever possible, try to answer the question point-wise. Because you know that the evaluators cannot spend more time on your paper. They have a target for a day. These many papers by evening they have to complete. So they will be evaluating very fast. So when you write point-wise, it's very easy for the evaluator to identify whether your answer is right or wrong. So they can easily correct it. And That will keep them happy with you, and you would be getting better marks. So answer point-wise. Now, let us now see your question paper pattern. Actually, your board question paper
Students wait. Krishna Kumar sir will join. Some network issue. Amit sir?
Yes, sir.
Sir is connecting. Yeah, sir has come back.
Sorry, some network issue.
Yeah, no issues, sir. Please continue.
Now, let us see your question paper pattern. See, your question paper, social science question paper, is divided into 6 sections. Section A, it is multiple choice question, and each question carries 1 mark. And most of the competency-based questions are in this section. Most of the questions in this section are actually competency-based questions. We will discuss them one by one later. Section B, you have very short answer type question. Each question carries 2 marks. Remember, generally in board examination, if 2 marks are allotted, you are supposed to write 2 points. You need not worry too much about the number of words and all. Nobody is going to count the number of words in your answer. But they will see whether 2 points are there or not. Now a question arises, I know 4 points. Can I write? Yes, you should. If you know more than 2 points, please write it down. You know 3 points, you know 4 points, write it down. Nothing wrong in it. So 2 mark questions, minimum 2 points should be there. If more than 2, you know, please do write that. Then section C, you have 5 short answer type question. Each question carries 3 marks. So how many points have to be written minimum?
5 points.
Minimum 3 points. You can write more than 3 points also. No problem at all. The board will not ask you, why did you write more than 3 points? If you know 5 points, please do write. But minimum 3 points should be there. Then section D, it is long answer questions. 4 questions will be there. Long answer, 4 questions will be there. So how many points have to be written?
4 points.
4 points have to be written. Of course, if you know more than 4, you can go for it. Sorry, 5 mark questions. So 5 points have to be written. Now, section E, you have case-based questions. These questions are actually competency-based questions. They will give a paragraph, and mostly they give paragraph from the textbook itself at a class 10 level. If it is class 12 level, they give from newspapers like other newspapers, magazines and all. But class 10 level, most of these paragraphs will be from the textbook. So if you are thorough with the textbook content, you can easily answer the questions actually. So case-based question, mostly, you know, from history, political science and economics. History, geography and political science. These 3 case-based questions are asked. Section F, map questions. Map, you have history, 2 maps. It will be identification maps. What is actually identification map? Anyone? What do you mean by identification map?
Sir, are you sharing the screen, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Is it not shared, ma'am? Okay, okay.
No,
I'll share
sir,
it.
it's not visible.
I'll share it now. Sorry. Oh, after the network got cut, I think I didn't share. Yeah. Yes. So case-based questions. Okay, map questions. So what do you mean by this identification map? Any one of you? The
Sir,
place
they,
will, yeah, the place will already be marked. You have to name it based on the clue given. For example, a rubber producing stage. They mark in Kerala and they will give a clue, rubber producing state. You have to identify that it is Kerala. Coffee producing stage. Which is our main coffee producing stage? Which is India's coffee producing stage? Coffee, which stage is the leading producer? Our neighboring state, Karnataka. So repeatedly asked the question. Okay, rubber producing state, Kerala. Sugarcane producing state, Uttar Pradesh. Jute producing state, West Bengal. So all these things should be there in your minds. So identification maps in geography, in history, actually, they can ask identification questions like the place where Jallianwala Bagh massacre occurred. Which place? Where did Jallianwala Bagh massacre take place? Amritsar. Sometimes instead of asking place, they will ask the state. The state in which Jallianwala Bagh massacre took place, you should write Punjab. There you should not write Amritsar. Similarly, they can ask questions like the place where Gandhiji broke the SALT law and inaugurated the civil disobedience movement. Which place? Where did Gandhiji disobeyed SALT law and inaugurated civil disobedience movement?
Sir, Dundee, sir.
Dundee. So Dundee you should be able to write. Or they can ask the place where Congress declared Purna Swaraj as its goal. Which place? Where did Congress declare Purna Swaraj as its goal? In which session?
Sir, Lahore, sir.
Lahore session, 1929, Lahore session. So such questions, remember, only from nationalism in India, map question will be asked in history. And only the maps which are given in your curriculum. In curriculum, actually, list of map items are given. Only from among them they will ask. So history, it will be identification map. Geography, 1 will be identification, 2 can be location and labeling. Location and labeling, they will give the place, you have to locate it and label. For example, Marmagao ports, Kolkata ports, all these. So this is actually your question paper pattern. So you'll have 20 multiple choice questions. You'll have 4 short answer type questions. Very short answer. 5 short answer type questions. 4 long answer type questions. 3 case-based questions. And for 5 marks, map question. For geography, map choice will be there. So whichever you know correctly, you can mark. And map will be along with the question. Keep in mind, map will be the last sheet in the question paper. You have to tear it out. You have to detach it carefully, mark it, and keep it in the middle of the answer book and tie it. Don't keep it at the end, because while transporting, sometimes your map may get detached and it may be lost. And don't take the map home along with the question paper. Keep it in mind map will be a part of the question paper, the last sheet of the question paper. Tear it out, mark it with a pencil, not with a sketch or with a pencil. Keep it in the middle of your answer booklet and tie it carefully. Now, let us now go to some of the new type of questions, mostly the competency-based questions. See, one type of question is called picture-based questions. Picture-based questions. One question will be there in the MCQ section, which is based on an image. Read this question. Which of the following aspects best signifies the image of Germania? You are all familiar with Germania, am I right? Who is Germania? Which country is represented by Germania?
Germany.
Germany. Can you tell me which of the following aspect best signifies this image of Germania?
Sir, B.
Heroism and justice.
Heroism.
Heroism and justice. See, she is wearing a crown of oak leaves. Oak leaves always represents heroism. You may be knowing in ancient Olympic Games, the winner was awarded oak leaves crown because the winner was considered as a hero in ancient Olympics. Now, let me ask you another question connected with this. You know about Bharat Mata, am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Who gave the concept of Bharat Mata? Who introduced the concept of Bharat Mata? It can be asked. Anyone? Pardon? Used the concept of Bharat Mata. Abanindranath Tagore painted the image of Bharat Mata, but before Abanindranath Tagore, a person described, narrated Bharat Mata. Who is he?
Bankim Chandra.
Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay described Bharat Mata. And based on his description, Abanindranath Tagore painted the image of Bharat Mata. Now, next question from that part is, Germania is shown as a warrior, a fighter. Am I right? She is with a sword in hand and she is ready to fight. Whereas Bharat Mata is shown as a sannyasini, very calm, very divine, highly peaceful. Can you tell me why do we have this difference? Why Germania is presented as a warrior woman, whereas Bharat Mata is presented as a sannyasini? Anyone? It's a critical thinking question. A critical thinking question. Such questions also can be there in board exam. Can any one of you answer this question?
Sir, it shows the peace.
Yes, it shows the difference between German wars of unification and India's nationalist movement. Germany got unified through a number of wars by fighting. So Germans wanted a fighter as their icon. So they introduced Germania as a warrior woman. Whereas India's national movement was totally different. It was highly peaceful. It was based on ahimsa. It was based on satyagraha. It was led by a sannyasi-like human being, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. That is why Bharat Mata was presented as a sannyasini, divine, calm, peaceful. So that itself shows the difference in the nature of nationalist movement. German nationalist movement was violent, whereas Indian national movement was peaceful, based on ahimsa, based on satyagraha. So picture-based questions can be asked. Here is another one. Can anyone answer this question? Who is represented as postman in the given image?
Sir, Napoleon.
Napoleon Bonaparte. This is from the first chapter, Nationalism in Europe. Can you just tell me what does this picture depict? What do you understand from this picture? Napoleon is shown as a postman. Am I right? Actually, this picture describes Napoleon's defeat in the Battle of Leipzig in 1813. Napoleon lost the war and Napoleon lost a lot of territories. You see, in the picture, you can find a number of letters falling down. Could you? From his bag. These letters bears the names of the territories which Napoleon lost after that war. So it indicates that Napoleon is losing. He has lost a number of territories. A number of letters are falling down. On that letters, those lost territories' names are written. So such questions can be asked. Now see the next question. Identify the event related to this image of Gandhiji. Can anyone answer?
Dandi March.
Dandi March. What is Dandi March? Can anyone of you describe?
Salt March.
Okay, can you describe that? See, whenever you get a question, dear students, once again, whenever you get a question, go to the connected events or topics. From that particular question, you go to a number of other questions. Then your learning will become interesting. Learning will become easy. Can you describe Dandi March?
Mahatma Gandhi violated the salt tax.
Yeah. Why salt tax? Why Gandhiji decided to break salt law? Another question, connected question.
Salt is seen to be a powerful weapon which can unite the nation.
Salt is an essential commodity. Salt is needed for Hindus, salt is needed for Muslims, salt is needed for Parsis, salt is needed for Christians, salt is needed for everybody. So it's an essential commodity. And moreover, the British imposed a heavy tax on salt. And it was government's monopoly to make salt. So Gandhiji thought if he violated the salt, all these different communities will come forward. Salt is needed for workers, salt is needed for farmers, salt is needed for business people. So Gandhiji wanted a united struggle, a unified struggle. Gandhiji wanted a demand, which will be the common demand of all the people of India. Not just the Hindus' demand or Muslims' demand or Parsis' demand. Gandhiji wanted to put forward a demand of all the people of India. That is why Gandhiji decided to break the salt law. A very important question, which is repeatedly asked in board examination. Gandhiji thought salt could unite the people of India. So salt satyagraha, Dandi March, Gandhiji, along with 78 followers, started a march on foot from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi. And Gandhiji and his disciples reached Dandi. They collected seawater and they made the seawater evaporate and they prepared salt. Thereby, they broke the salt law. According to salt law, only government had the power to make salt. So thereby, Gandhiji inaugurated the civil disobedience movement. What is the difference between civil disobedience movement and non-cooperation movement ideologically? Can you tell me? What difference is there in idea between civil disobedience movement and the non-cooperation movement? This is also a very important question. See, non-cooperation movements, Indians decided not to cooperate with the British. Gandhiji said the British established their rule over India because Indians supported them, Indians cooperated with them. British rule continues in India because Indians continue to support them. So when will the British rule come to an end? When Indians stop cooperating with them. So not cooperating with the British, that was the ideology of non-cooperation movements. Whereas civil disobedience movement was little more extreme. Not only not supporting or not cooperating, but also violating the British rule, violating the law, openly disobeying. That is what civil disobedience movement is all about. So image-based questions can be there. Another type of question. Remember, you might have noticed from one question, we have gone to a number of concepts. Am I right? The same way you should go. When you take a question paper, if you see a question, connect questions you frame in your mind and try to find answer. Like a game, you can do it. It will become very interesting for you. And once you are interested, you will do it continuously. Now, this is chronological question. You know, arrange in chronological order. What do you mean by chronological order?
Right order.
Yeah, time frame based on the timeline. See, can anyone arrange it in chronological order? Which option will be the right one?
Option D.
Option
D.
D, exactly. Option D is the right answer. So your first one will be John Gutenberg invented printing press. Then Martin Luther's writings led to the beginning of the Protestant Reformation. Then Menocchio reinterpreted the message of the Bible. And print culture created the conditions for the French Revolution. Now, my question is how to prepare for such questions? Anyone? How to prepare? Learn the lesson in the form of a story. That is the best way. You learn the lesson in the form of a story. In the story, you very well know what happened first, what happened next, what happened last. So systematically in the form of a story, in an order, if you learn, if you store it in your memory, chronological questions can be easily answered. I hope it is clear. So the way of learning has to be changed. Many of us read question answers and learn. Of course, you can read question answers, good. But from the textbook, I already told you, read the textbook, visualize, write the summary. If you learn in that manner, you will be able to arrange the events, the incidents in chronological order. So arrange it systematically. Learn it like a story. So that will surely help you to answer such a chronological questions actually. Many are there. I don't want to go into it because the time is running out. Now, next type of question is actually match the following. Here also they will give the option. The right option has to be selected. Go through this question and tell me what will be the right option.
Option B.
Let's take one by one. Let's take one by one. Individual resources. What do you mean by individual resources? From this also you ask the questions. What do you mean by individual resources?
Which is owned by only a member.
Yeah, resources owned by individuals. Your father may own a building. Your father may own a piece of land. Or your mother may have a car. These are all individual resources owned by individuals. So here the option is there, resources are owned by individuals. So A2. A2 is the first one. Community owned resources. What do you mean by community owned resources?
Which is used by all the members of the community.
Yeah, the resources which are collectively owned by a community. Resources which are collectively owned by a community, we call community owned resources. For example, a village temple. A village temple belongs to all the people of that village. Similarly, in Tamil Nadu, we find tanks, common tank, from which all the villagers can collect water. Or outside the village, common graveyard will be there. Or in some places, we even find a common well, from which everybody can take water. So these are called community-owned resources. So which option will be the right one?
Option 2.
Yes, can be accessed by all the members of the community. So B2. Now, developed resources. What do you mean by developed resources? Anybody? What do you mean by developed resources? If they ask a question, what do you mean by developed resources? You should be able to answer. Tell me, what does it mean?
The resource which is used by the individuals.
Okay. Actually, the correct explanation is the resources which have been already surveyed, survey process over, and their quantities and qualities, properties are already determined, and their usage is going on. We call developed resources. For example, the lignite deposits in Neyveli in Tamil Nadu. We have done the survey, Geological Survey of India. They have done the survey and they have identified that the resource is there and determined the quantity. They determined the properties and they have started using it. Recently, last 1 or 2 days, one breaking news has come about the discovery of a resource in Jammu and Kashmir. What is it? Can you tell me? A general question. In Jammu and Kashmir or in Kashmir, recently, the Geological Survey of India, they conducted a survey and they discovered a highly valuable resource. Anybody knows about that?
Sir, lithium, sir.
Lithium. Lithium is a very, very important resource in the modern day world because it is used for making the battery, which is used for electric vehicles. You know, in future, electric vehicles will be taking over our roads. They are pollution free. So they will be taking over our roads. So lithium will become a highly valuable resource and we have got huge quantity of lithium. So still it is in development stage. We can't say it is developed. Still, we have to decide the properties. We have to decide the quantity. We have to start the usage. Then India will become a rich country, people say. Like the Gulf countries became rich once when they discovered petroleum. Similarly, India will become a rich country when this lithium is developed. So what will be the right option? What will be the right option? Development depend upon the availability of technology. See, to develop a resource, your technological capability plays the most important role. You need to have the technology to extract it, to use it. Now, lithium has become an important resource because we have already developed the technology by which this lithium can be used. Now, the final one, renewable resources. What are called renewable resources?
The resource which can be renewed or replenished by
the resources which can be regenerated by physical, chemical, or biological process. By physical, chemical, or biological process, if a resource can be regenerated, we can call it renewable. Here, which one will be the right one? Solar energy and wind energy. So which option is the right one? A3, B2, C1, and D4. I think the first option. Am I right? Okay. So in this way, you have to identify. So match the following questions will be there. Okay. Now, another type of competency-based question is actually identification question. In some quiz programs and all, we used to see such a question. They will give a number of clues. Quiz program, it will be with the first clue, if you answer, you will get 20 points. Second clue, 15 points, like that. Here it is not like that. You can read all the clues and identify. Can you identify the soil with the information given?
Option C, sir.
Option C, laterite soil. Very good. Correct. It develops under tropical and subtropical climates. Intense leaching process takes place. What is leaching? A sub question. What is leaching? What do you mean by leaching? Anybody? Leaching is nothing but high intensity soil erosion, large scale soil erosion caused by heavy tropical rainfall. Large scale soil erosion caused by heavy tropical rainfall. That's called leaching. It is due to leaching that the laterite soil is formed. It supports deciduous and evergreen forests. Humus content is very, very low. Can you tell me why is this humus content very low? Humus content means the material, powdery material derived from dead and decayed
Topsoil
plants.
is going with water.
Pardon? You said something?
Topsoil is going with water.
Okay, what is this humus content and why humus content is low in this soil? See, mainly because this soil is formed in tropical areas, high temperature areas. Microbes do not survive much. And microbes are very, very essential for the formation of humus. But under the conditions, climatic conditions, the microbes will be very less in such areas. That's the main reason why the content, humus content is very low in this type of soil. And as you said, the soil erosion also is one of the reasons. Help following information. Can you identify the crop?
Option B, sir. Maize, sir.
Yeah, maize. Maize is actually an American crop. Mexico, maize is actually the staple food crop. What is rice for us is maize for them. It is used as a fodder and a food, kharif crop which requires. So all this, if you learn, the conditions needed or favorable for different crops, the main features of soil, these things, if you can very well answer such a identification questions. Now, one second. In match the following, another type. They will ask which one is correctly matched. They are not asking you to match it. They are just asking you to identify the correctly matched statement. Can you tell me among these which one is correctly matched? Power shared among different organs of government. Which one will be the right one for that? Or second one, you take power shared among governments at different levels. Which option is right? Federal government. Am I right? In federal government, power is shared between the central government, state government, and local government. So B is not the right one. Power shared between social groups, community government. So C is not the right one. Power shared by two or more political parties, coalition government. So D also is not the right one. A is the right one. Multiple choice questions, two different ways you can find the answer. One is selection, another one is elimination. If you are very thorough about the answer, you can just go for selection. If you have some doubts, go for elimination. Eliminate the incorrect one so that you will come to the correct one. What is left out will be the correct one. So here A is the correctly matched one. Now, this is another type, assertion reasoning type. What is this assertion and what is this reasoning? Anybody? Assertion and reasoning.
Assertion is a statement.
Yeah, it's a statement. Assertion is a statement. And the reason is also a statement, but it should be supporting the assertion. Am I right? So how to answer this question? First, you read the assertion. 2-3 times you read and check it in your mind whether it is a correct statement. Say, for example, responsive and legitimate government. Is it a true statement? Democracy is an accountable, responsive, and legitimate government. Is it a true statement?
True statement.
Yes, it is accountable. What is accountable? What is accountability? Answerable. Yes. Democratic government is answerable to the parliament. Democratic government is answerable to the public. Democratic government is answerable to the media. So it's correct. Responsive. What do you mean by responsive government? What do you mean by responsive government? The government which will attend to the needs of the people. See, our government, it's not connected with our people, but our government, you take one example. In Turkey, a high intensity earthquake, you already know about that. Am I right? Thousands of people lost their lives. Within hours, within few hours, Indian aeroplanes landed in Turkey. And ours is the first country to start support activities there, rescue operations there. It shows that responsiveness, we are ready. So if anything happened to the people, here we are not even thinking about our own people. We are thinking about the people of the other countries also. Highly responsive government. We have to appreciate our government for that. Within hours, our aeroplanes landed there. Our rescue teams reached there. Immediately they set up hospitals. Immediately they started rescue operations. And Turkish people are very happy with the response of the Indian government. See, starvation there in an area, for example, a responsive government will immediately rush food materials there and save the lives of the people there. So that is what we call responsive, legitimate. What do you mean by legitimate government?
Legally approved government.
Legally approved government. Why do we say that a democratic government is? Why do we say that a democratic government is legally approved government?
Because it's the decisions were made by people.
Yeah, it's a government formed by the people. And people are supreme in a nation. In a nation, people are supreme, people are sovereign. And this government is actually people's own government. And it is established as per the constitution, as per the law. It's established as per the law. And it is people's own government. That is why it's a legitimate government. See, from that statement itself, how many things we could discuss, how many other questions we could frame. In that way, you should go about. So it is a correct statement. Democracies have regular, free and fair election, and decision making is based on norms and procedures. Is it right?
False.
Why do you say it is false? Democracies have regular elections. Decision making is
Correct
based on
statement, sir.
norms and procedures. It's a true statement. It's not wrong. And whether it is correct or not, you have to find out whether this second statement is supporting the first statement. Of course, here the second statement is supporting the first one. It is because of this election that the government is accountable, that the government is responsive. And decision making is based on norms and procedure that makes the government legitimate. So what will be your right option?
Option A, sir.
Yeah, option A. Both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Very good. So such a assertion reasoning based questions can be asked. Now let's come to another type of question. See here, this question is based on calculation, tabular question. You'll have to make some minor calculation. You should understand that and make some minor calculations. Read the given data and find out children of which stage has attained a maximum elementary school education. Can you find out which stage?
Kerala, sir.
Yeah, it's Kerala because literacy rate is 94 and net attendance ratio is 83. Out of 100 children, how many are completing secondary stage, secondary education, up to class 10 education? It's 83 in Kerala. So Kerala is the right answer. So such questions can be asked. Here, this is another type of question coming under competency based. They have given an example. You have to find out what is matching for the second one. Primary, secondary, and tertiary. This classification is based on nature of economic activity. What is primary sector? Anybody? What do you mean by primary sector?
Which is agriculture based sector.
Okay. The correct explanation is, primary sector includes all occupations, all activities which converts natural resources into primary products. Activities which converts natural resources like land, water, air, etc. into primary products by natural process. For example, agriculture. Agriculture is a natural process. We make primary products, we use natural resources. What is secondary sector?
Processing of raw materials.
Yeah. All activities which converts primary products into finished products by manufacturing. By manufacturing. What is tertiary sector?
Service sector.
Yeah, it provides different types of services like education, transport, medical facility, accounting service, legal service, etc., etc. So here classification is based on nature of economic activity. That is already given. Now, organized and unorganized. What is the criteria used for classification?
Nature of employment activities.
Yes, nature of employment activities. What is organized sector? Anybody? Very important question.
Which is followed by norms and conditions.
Yes, it includes all enterprises which follow some norms and conditions, which follow the rules and regulations, which follow the laws, and they are registered. They are called organized sector. And workers in the organized sector are paid well, and they get paid holiday, paid leave, and they get retirement or social security benefits like provident fund, gratuity, etc., etc. And they have security of job security. What is unorganized sector?
Which
Small
don't.
enterprises. Small enterprises, they don't follow any norms and terms or conditions, or they don't follow any rules and regulations. They don't follow the laws like Minimum Wages Act or Gratuity Act or Provident Fund Act. They don't follow all these. And workers are poorly paid. No stipulated working time. They are made to work for longer hours and no paid leave, no paid holiday. And they don't have social security benefits. So please learn the difference between the organized and the unorganized sector. So nature of employment activity is the right one. See here another tabular based question, table based question. Read the following data and select the appropriate option from the following. Educational achievement of rural population of Uttar Pradesh. Literacy rate for rural population, male 76%, female 54%. Literacy rate for rural children in the age group of 10 to 14 years, 90 for male, 87 for female. Percentage of rural children aged 10 to 14 attending school, 85 for male and 82 for female. Question is, how much percentage of girls are not attending school? Can anyone?
Option D, sir.
Only 18. Very easy, no? A simple calculation. See, percentage of rural children aged 10 to 14 attending school, among the female it is 82. So not attending is 100 minus 82, 18. Simple question. Such questions can be asked. So that's all about the competency-based questions in MCQ category. The other things, short answer, very short answer, they are all normal questions, which you are already familiar. In that knowledge level questions will be there. Knowledge level questions means just recollecting. Whatever you remember, you can write. For example, describe Jallianwala Bagh massacre. It's a knowledge-based question. Okay. Or there can be understanding level question. What impact the Jallianwala Bagh massacre had on the people of India? Understanding level question. Or it can be critical thinking question. There you have to think a lot and apply knowledge and try to find the answer to the question. For example, examine the impact of civil disobedience movement on the Indian people. It's actually critical thinking questions. So such questions will be there. Knowledge level questions, understanding level question, critical thinking question will be there in that very short answer, long answer questions. You are already familiar with such questions. They are not new. And remember, whenever you answer, write point device wherever possible. And do not leave out any question. If it is a critical thinking question, don't worry. Whatever you know about that concept you write, you will get the mark. I assure you, I am telling this confidently because I have already attended several CBSE evaluations. So I know how marks are allotted. Based on that experience, I am telling you. Don't worry if you do not have the exact answer. Don't leave out. Whatever you know about that concept, whatever comes to your mind connected with that concept, please answer. Your answer will be the right one. So very short answer, 2 points. Short answer, 3 points. Long answer, 5 points. More than that, please do right. Knowledge level questions you can easily answer. Understanding level, if you learn, whenever you read a paragraph, try to understand what that paragraph is telling us. Not just storing it. Understand it and learn. Then understanding based questions can be answered. Critical thinking question, you have to think and try to find the answer. Okay. Now, next part is actually paragraph based question. Here a paragraph will be given. And based on that paragraph, a number of questions will be asked. Dear students, read textbook again and again and again and again. Be thorough with each and every word and sentence in the textbook. Understand it correctly. Then paragraph-based questions will become very easy for you. Actually, this is the scoring area. 12 marks. That 12 marks everybody should get. Please mute yourselves. Somebody is talking, please mute. Okay. Say paragraph-based question, you have to understand that it is totally different from the comprehension passages in English. You are familiar with the comprehension passages in English. See, comprehension passages in English actually test your ability to read the paragraph and take out the answer from there. Answer will be there in the paragraph. But in social science paragraph-based question, sometimes you may not find the answer. But if you know that area, if you know that concept, if you know that incident, you will be able to answer. See the question here, what does indentured labor mean? Can anyone tell me what does indentured labor mean? Indentured labor. Have you heard this term? You have learned about Baba Ramchandra, have you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Baba Ramchandra worked in Fiji as an indentured laborer before coming to India and before organizing the peasants' movement. So what do you mean by indentured laborer? Anybody?
A bonded laborer.
Bonded laborer. We can't say it is bonded
Working.
laborer.
They work
Contract
under
laborer. Contract laborer.
Under
That's the
contract.
correct term. See, actually, the British had colonies in different parts of the world. And in some of the colonies, they didn't get adequate workers. So from places where workers are available, they have taken to the colonies, workers are not available. For example, from India, they have taken workers to Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, see, Indian Tamils are there in Sri Lanka. They are actually the grandchildren or great-grandchildren of the Indians who were taken to Sri Lanka to work in the tea plantations there. To Fiji, to different British colonies. And the lives of these people was highly miserable. Okay, so indentured labor. The destinations, Sri Lanka, Fiji, and other British colonies, you can write. Why have the historians described the 19th century indenture has been described as a new system of slavery? Why it was considered as a new system of slavery? Because these workers were treated very badly. Paragraph itself, it is given. Their wages were reduced if their work is considered to have been unsatisfactory. If the plantation owner thinks that a person's work is not satisfactory, his salaries will be reduced. Many of them were not getting full wages and they were severely punished. They were beaten up. So it was like a slavery. Their life was similar to that of slaves. So such a paragraph-based questions can be answered. A boy has asked, how can we remember the pipelines? See, the important pipelines are already given in the textbook. If you want to recollect them very easily, write down in a small piece of paper, paste it in your study room, near your study table. Map also, you can do the same thing. Have a look at it whenever you are free. It will slowly into your mind. Okay, so remembering things like map work, for example. Map work also, you can do the map and paste it in your study room. Whenever you feel bored after reading, You have a look at that. So dear students, examinations are round the corner. This is the time that we put in all our effort. But don't strain too much. Read for an hour. Take 5 minutes break. That 5 minutes, listen to some melodious music. Or just have some talk with your sibling. Or just to go out and have a walk. Come back. Relax your minds. Then go to the next reading session. Don't waste any time. Whenever you are having doubt, immediately contact your teacher, discuss with your teacher, get your doubts cleared. All of you can score send-up. This year, there should be more number of send-ups from different schools in different parts of Tamil Nadu and different parts of India. For that, students have to work. India has the advantage of demographic dividend. It means that we have the largest youth population in the world. And we, the elders, have a lot of faith and confidence on the young population. These people can do wonders and take our country to progress. I wish you all the best. Any doubts or anything, if you have, you can ask. The time is already over. Or if everything is fine, we can wind up. But I want all of you to strive hard, concentrate, prepare a study plan. You know, you allot the time for different subjects in these days. And please try not to have the related subjects study continuously. For example, science, don't go to maths. After science, study social science. After social science, go to science. After science, don't go to maths, go to English. Unrelated subjects that will help you to learn faster. And I told you visualization, please use it. Write the summaries. Try to answer as many questions as possible. Thank you very much. Sir, shall we conclude, sir?
Thank you so much, sir. Well, children, do you have any doubts or any feedbacks?
If you have any doubt, you can ask.
We'll get some feedback. Others,
How was the session?
also we have
Have you enjoyed the session?
Gunapriya. Yeah, Gunapriya, could you share your feedback about the session? Just unmute and talk. Gunapriya. Okay.
Please speak out, children. See, you have to come forward. If not you, who will? Lavanya, can you share your views, your feedback?
Sir, this session was very useful. Sir.
Okay. So you enjoyed the session?
Yes, sir. Thank you for the session.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any doubts anybody has connected with the social science or in general about exam?
I think you cleared all the doubts, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So now the main thing you have helped them to gain confidence in the subject. That's very important. Really, thank you so much, sir, for spending your valuable time in the evening. And we are very, very thankful.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity given.
And really, sir, we'll meet again, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, okay, sir.